And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. Ooh, he just took down Creator, just took down Oliveira. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the Red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. He took down Showtime to make it all the way to the grand finals. It is MaxPax. Go. I'm a little bit concerned. If this event goes on a little bit too long, we actually won't be able to cast. We won't be able to co-stream. So, oh, it's in 46 minutes. No, no. Okay, if this series ends in 46 minutes, then we can co-stream. Otherwise, we won't be able to. For those wondering, you're only allowed to co-stream the regionals or the ESL if you start from the beginning. You can't jump in like halfway. You can't jump in halfway, you can't jump in like, and you can't leave halfway either. Those are the rules, So we got 46 minutes. Otherwise, I may only co-stream the Americas region, not the European one. So we may just do that instead. Here we go. As for now, we do have a double gas opener out of Clem. Far more aggressive opener here from our Red Terran. Meanwhile, MaxPax just going for a gate expand. Ooh, to a gate cyber expand. So again, very standard openers. Nothing too crazy. Nothing out of the norm in the early game. Nothing out of the norm yet. As we are just going to be getting into our factory setup as well. No eBay block, for example. No proxies. I'm just really looking at Clem more than anything because he's the player that did, of course, open up a little bit more aggressively here, but there's a CC on the high ground. He's not going for a 1-1-1. He's just going for a factory before the CC. Reaper slips into the main base, and we have our tech of choice. MaxPax is going for a Stargate opener, not a Twilight Council. Rope is going to go down. Please be considered on my lunch plan. It's this slow, bro. I mean, if we can't co-stream Europe, then I can get some food. I can get some dinner. That'd be great. All will be well. As the Reaper, I believe, did see the Stargate. No, did not see the Stargate. So Clem is still in the dark as to what his opponent is up to, whether it's going to be a Stargate or a Twilight Council opener. As the devs have hit the field. And we do have a Phoenix first from MaxPax. Okay, not an Oracle. More traditional form of Stargate opener. Should be Phoenixes. This should be leading into Colossus as well. We could see Charge instead. MaxPax has options as to how he wants to really refine his army and how he wants to build himself up leading into the mid game. So we could be seeing a Twilight Council with Charge, or we could be seeing a Robo with eventually a Robotics Bay. One or the other. Meanwhile, back at home, we're going to be setting up for a drop. Clem moving out with a Marine drop, a Widowmine mixed in as well. The Phoenix will miss it. Oh, just barely. As the Phoenix does threaten the main base. We don't really have much at home to defend. There's a lot of potential here in this drop. The Phoenixes will come across it, but one Phoenix does not have enough DPS. We do commit to the drop as well. Widowmine is going to be lifted and up, just barely burrow. Up. Widowmine will go down. Good control there at a MaxPax, dropping and lifting up at that Widowmine. Allowing it to go off. Reaper in the main base does get a couple of worker kills. But MaxPax is being cleaned up. 3 probes go down. 3 probes for a full medevac. Oof. I mean, does get a mine shot off. But I still want to favor MaxPax here. He shut down the mine, shut down the medevac. MaxPax doesn't lose too many workers, and now from here he can work towards his third. There we go. Third is on the way. Phoenixes are moving out, and they will come across this army. Clem has to pull back home. Doesn't want to overextend. I mean, I would just eat during the co-stream. Like I would. If the co-stream is more chill, so because there are other casters, so I can actually eat during the co-stream. So I'll eat nonetheless, regardless. We'll get food. It's okay. Clem is going to be pushing. He's got plenty of anti-air available here. The Vikings, they do zone away these Phoenixes. They're battered and bruised because of those Widow Mines earlier. And we don't really have much at home to defend. It is going to be Phoenix Colossus, by the way. There's that Bay in production for the Colossus. And the Phoenixes, they do force Clem to turn back around as they threaten the main. And there isn't much at home to defend. 3 SCVs go down. Again, MaxPax, he barely had anything to defend back at home, but he forced back the army, killed some workers, will lose a Phoenix in the process. But he buys enough time for an Immortal. And soon, a Colossus, as a Colossus is in production. Now, what's important is that Clem may have been delayed, but he's reinforcing. Like, his macro hasn't really been stopped too much, and he has preserved his army. He's now up to 4 Vikings, 2 tanks. Marines are moving out. Boys are being pulled. A couple of boys even, just to repair. And this is going to be a tight hold for MaxPax. Bunkers are being thrown down. Phoenixes, they catch a tank. A big pickup. A tank goes down. Ay, ay, ay. A tank for a Phoenix. They get a second a second Viking, and so much turns around to zone away these Phoenixes. And Clem, I don't know if we can really commit anymore. We're going for it. There's no other way about this. There's no third CC. There is a tank stuck back at home. Hopefully it can make its way across the map. But the Phoenixes, they catch more Marines. It's finally going to be trading with these Vikings. With the Phoenixes, they out-trade the Vikings. GG is going to get called. We don't even get a fight. They didn't even engage, but Clem, he just runs out of steam, bleeds out too much, and MaxPax will take game number 1. GG. I was keeping my eye on the minimap. I was looking to see if Clem was gonna like just dive onto the third base enemy, but no, didn't dive. He just was stuck out there with his bunkers, and yeah, just bled out far too much. GG, well played. MaxPax takes the lead, takes game 1. There we go. But this is a best of 5, a long series, Papi, a long series. We can still go back and forth. We can still go either way. Clem can fight back, I believe. I do believe. And game 2 is going to be taking place on Solaris. Let's go. Solaris is going to be coming up next. A bit of a more wide open map. A lot of bases to be taken as well. Could end up in the mid game. I hope so. As we load in and spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the best Terran player in all of Europa, in all of Europe, representing Team Liquid down in this series, but it's okay. We can fight back. It's all good. It is Clem, aka Clem. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Europe, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Probe is going to be coming in. It's going to be a little bit annoying here to Clem. Clem setting up for a Rax Expand. Oh, sorry, never mind. Is going to be taking a second gas in his main base. So once again, a double gas opener, just like game number 1. Is going to lead into a faster factory. And we saw that in game 1, it led into a mine drop, a mine marine drop, which did not work out. Clem, his opener led towards a drop that did fall in its face. And even here, MaxPax, oh my god, being so annoying. The probe. He wants the SCV. So much damage done on them, but doesn't kill anything, not yet. Rax is done. And that probe is going to be sent away. Meanwhile, back at home, MaxPax. Okay, he cancels his Zealots. Did have it on the way, but is going to cancel it. Going for his natural base. So just a gate, cyber, expand. Standard opener out of MaxPax. And we'll see what this factory opener leads into for Clem. Remember, game 1 was that drop that didn't do too much, but here in game 2 we could end up with some Hellion production, maybe a less committed mine drop, early game Cyclones. We'll see. They make schnitzels out of the Terrans. Ah, oh, you make me want schnitzels. You're just making me hungry, Papi. Oh. Fun fact: I passed out after the stream earlier today because I was streaming on my own personal channel. I passed out and I woke up to a phone call. Kura was waking me up because she was messaging me about going live for KungFu Cup. And I woke up like 8 minutes before the cast, and I went live 5 minutes before the tournament started. It was, I almost slept in, Papi. Almost slept in. We made it, Papi. We made it. But I'm adjusting my sleep schedule for ESL Masters. For those wondering. I do plan on staying up until like around 8 a.m. 8 or 9 a.m. Because tomorrow we're going to be casting the B stream. Tomorrow we are covering the B stream for ESL Masters, so I do have to acclimate. And once again, Stargate opener. Stargate opener out of MaxPax. Phoenix first for a second time. Again, Phoenix Colossus is very standard for a reason. It's very meta. For those wondering, Phoenixes, they give you map control. As we saw in the previous game, Phoenixes, they shut down drop play, they shut down aggression, and they give you enough breathing room to take a third and to get into Colossi, which deals with everything else. As we're going for the same opener. Once again, Marine Mine Drop. The same build as game number 1. Clem is doing it 2 games in a row. We'll see if he can find some more success. As the drop this time is going straight for the main. Going straight for the main base. Does bypass the Phoenix. But there is a shield battery in the mineral line. MaxPax is going to be rotating over. At the same time, we have a mine waddling towards the natural. Mine is going to go down. Clem, he backs off. He has been deflected. Now, even though Clem didn't do any damage, he actually deals less damage here in game 2. If you remember, in game 1, he killed 3 probes. Here, he kills nothing. Up! Nice shot. Nice mine shot here on that Phoenix. This game, he kills nothing, but he preserves his units. His medevac is still alive. His Marines and his Reaper are still alive as well. So he's able to muster up his forces, consolidate his army, and work on a later timing instead. So I do think that Clem is in a better position compared to game 1. Even though he did less damage. As we are getting into this. So I apologize. My PC just freaked out on me for a moment there. Hopefully everything is okay. All is good. Yeah, like the command bar just opened up for no reason. I was like, what? So what happened? But good. As the Phoenixes, they're just going to be containing Clem. We mentioned before that, again, Phoenixes, they do grant you map control. We do have a third at Nexus on the way. The bay has been thrown down, and we're getting into those Colossi. Phoenix Colossus is upon us. But Clem, he's just powering on up back at home on 2 bases. Building up his forces. We do have a observer in between the bases as well to catch any kind of move out. So ideally scout the expansion as well if Clem does throw down the third. Some Marines, they do threaten these Phoenixes, forcing them back. MaxPax back at home is able to get his third base up and running. Fully saturated. The pieces, they find their way into the main. They got one SCV. Only one. And I'm still waiting to see the third base from Clem. He's still just focusing on a pretty big push here. Whacking goes down. Liberator into the main is going to get a lot of damage done. 3 probes. 3 probes and some mining time. And here we go. Clem is pushing. Medevacs almost get caught out. Almost do get caught out. But there it is. Thirsty gets thrown down behind this. But this is still a very committed attack from Clem. He's still looking to break that third. So far, he cannot. Again, the Colossi are ready for it. The shield batteries overcharge as well. Clem, he is going to respect that. And instead, rotate around. He splits up his army. And he will deny the fourth. And again, what's important is that even though Clem didn't manage to get any damage done here at the third, he still has an army. Like, he didn't waste anything. Didn't commit to a fight. Preserved his units. As a result, Clem is still ahead in army supply. While MaxPax being contained to 3 bases. But now he's up to 3 Colossi. We can start disruptive production. Prism is on the way. Clem slowly working towards his third. Doing everything he can to deny a fourth. Now, can he push into this army? Potentially, this Colossus is looking quite exposed. He dives in. He wants it. Up. And he will get the Colossus. A big misstep there from MaxPax, leaving his army idle and leaving that Colossus exposed as well. Unable to keep up with the movement. Big pickoff for Clem. Very good moment for him. That's like a third of the firepower gone from this army, which is pretty huge. Only 2 Colossus left. The War Prism is getting ready for a Zealot run by. It's going to be slow lots because Charge just now started. Phoenixes try to pick off whatever they can, but they do get zoned away. Up! Taking another. Oh my! Taking 2 mine shots to the face. Phoenix goes down. Clem is pulling MaxPax apart. He goes in once again. He's going to be able to get the cannon at least. Gets a cannon, gets a Zealots. A Phoenix. Before backing off. Fourth base is on the way. Charge is still not done. This War Prism still doesn't quite commit. We also don't want to, not yet. Ideally, you go for a Zealot run by when Clem is attacking or when you're attacking. You want it to come in while your opponent is distracted in some way. So MaxPax is just building up his forces. As he moves out, Clem is pushing in. Here we go. We do have the Zealot drop into the natural waste, but an army is in position, and MaxPax is nowhere to be seen. He was out in the center of the map. Does turn back around. Looking to dive on these Marines. But Clem, he slips away. Doesn't get surrounded. Kites at these Zealots. Picking up a decent amount of them, and once again, a really good trade there for Clem. He went in. He dealt with some of the stack defense here at the third. Defended the drop. And MaxPax's army is still lacking because he lost that Colossus. And he hasn't rebuilt it. We have Disruptors on the way instead. 2 more Robos on the way for triple Disruptor production. But we're not there yet, and Clem is going to be the first to max out. He's got Ghost for EMPs. He's taking his 4th. 2-2 on the horizon. Nice EMP on that observer. Oh my god. Zwarty does end up leaving, but does Zwarty have... Is he casting ESL Masters today? Because he would have to go live. So I'm pretty sure Zwarty has to cover ESL Masters, so he's off to cast another event. But alas, I'm sure his viewers will be able to catch the rest of the event elsewhere. MaxPax does go for a bit of his own run, but it does collapse on that CC. He's spending quite a lot of time, forces the entire army of Clem to follow suit. As MaxPax finally gets his 5th base on the way. Actually double expanding, getting his 5th and his 6th. And the game has kind of settled down. The game has settled down from here. Both players are just maxing. 2nd starport on the way, ship weapons, a fusion core for liberators. Clem is just taking up even further. Still no major engagements. Still no major pushes. Up! Oh my god, nice dodges here on the Novas! With 3 Novas go off, they connect with nothing. Maybe 1 Marauder. And we can dive on in, we can chase down this army. And the Disruptors are going down one after the other. Things are snowballing out of control. MaxPax, he's down to 2 Disruptors, losing every single Colossus. The Disruptors are about to reset, but big EMPs. 1 Nova goes off. The splits! Oh my god! Once again, Clem avoiding every single Nova. He dives into the natural. He's on top of the Robo, on top of the production. 1 more Nova will connect at the same time. Zelta wreaking havoc across the map. MaxPax, a little bit of a desperation move, but this is all he has left. As Clem has broken the natural. These Archons are getting in a lot of work. 26 SCVs go down. This is a lot of economic damage. But Clem, he can push into the main Nova. The splits! Once again. Avoiding the Purification Novas. We head towards the 3rd. And this is more important than the natural. Robo, another Disruptor does come out. Never goes off. Does not connect. The reason why this is more important because there's no Robo here in the main. The last Robo is here at the 3rd base, which means no more Disruptors. What you see is what you get. GG gets called, and Clem will take game number 2, tying it up 1-1. GG. He's going to ESL? Yeah. I assumed so. I did assume so. As that was a really strong game out of Clem. Like, game 1 was Clem being hyper aggressive. He went for basically a 2-base all-in, and he was shut down. He was shut down before he could really get anything going. Here in game 2, we saw a much more mature Clem, where he was kind of poking and prodding wherever he could. He was being very tentative with his army. He was never committing, never throwing anything away until that final big fight. That was like the only fight of the game. Before that, he was like harassing, yes, but he was always just ready to run away and ready to pull back until he had maxed out here with Ghost, with Vikings, and he was able to just, yeah, pick MaxPax apart in that main army engagement. Really well done. Really solid play there out of Clem. GG. GG, well played. Ooh. And I do think that a lot of this is very map dependent as well. Solaris is a very large map, and it does allow for, you know, yourself to ease into the mid game and work with the room that you are provided. Oceanborn, much smaller map, shorter rush distance as well, so it makes sense for Clem to be aggressive on Oceanborn. Does make sense for him to be aggressive. Didn't quite work out, but it made sense based on the map. As we are tied up and we're heading into game number 3. As a reminder, best of 5. It is going to be a best of 5 between these 2 players. Oh boy, so plenty of games are ahead of us. And we most likely won't be able to co-stream ESL Masters Europe. We have at least 2 more games in this series, and we have 20 minutes until ESL Masters Europe. So we're probably going to miss Europe, but we will be co-streaming Americas. So we got you covered there. We'll be co-streaming Americas, back. those wondering what co-streaming is, basically we have permission to restream the main feed, of the Twitch channel of ESL, which means that we can, you know, listen into the casting and also add our own casting, add our own flavor to the stream, to the broadcast. We already did it for day 1. We did it day 1, but so far we've only done day 1 just because we've been casting the B stream, or we've been casting, like, typically we're casting other events like WTL. So yeah, it's not like we haven't been streaming StarCraft, we've just been streaming other tournaments. Like KungFu Cup, for example, which is why we wouldn't be able to co-stream today. Like KungFu Cup or WTL or the ESL Open Cups. Just been covering our own events. But here we go. We're loading into game number 3. Just need a moment to set everyone up. And it's going to be on Hecate. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. Ooh, tying up the series 1-1, it is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Yeah, it is cool that they allow that. I know Raynor's been doing it. I'm not too sure about any other people, but I know ourselves and Raynor. I try not to be too critical. There were moments in day 1 of co-streaming where it was Wardy and Loco they were casting. And there were moments where I was getting frustrated because they were either tired or, like, you know, they were disinterested, and then I just yeah. I just muted and I just started casting games. It was I remember it was who was it? It was Cyril and Raynor's matches. It was Raynor versus Spats and Cyril versus Arcfire. I remember those two, and also Eggs versus Cham in ESL Americas. And I think those are the ones where I had to step in. But outside of that, good casts. Good casts. As Clem is going to be going into a hidden Rax. Bit of a fake proxy Rax here from Clem. Essentially just trying to get into the head here of MaxPax. This is something that happens quite often in this matchup, where the Terran player, they can throw down their Rax either further back in their main, or in the natural, in the linear third, or in the triangular third. It will eventually just float back home. It's just a way to fake out a proxy, basically. And to get into the head of MaxPax. If Blizzard have you hostage. Yeah. Don't have me hostage, but it's StarCraft, Bobby. So I have to do look. If Blizzard aren't going to support StarCraft, someone has to, okay? That's where we're all stepping in, Bobby. We're all stepping up. Whether it's here on the CranKy Ducklings, you know, Wardy, Roddy, the other community casters, Dave Testa, Chicken Man, much love to the other community casters out there alongside us. And we're gonna do what we can. Blizzard isn't doing it. Let's be real. Doing what we can. So really, it's the opposite, you know. I chose to put myself in these shackles, you know. I've tied myself up. It's okay. I like it. I like it, Papi. Don't worry about it. As we're getting into our openers, MaxPax once again going to be going for a Stargate opener. He's done so every single game so far into Phoenixes. So Phoenix into, I imagine, Colossus. Same thing every game so far out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, Clem mixing it up, going for a CC on the high ground. Was a double gas opener into a 1-1-1. Oh my, we are going for another drop, but a very different drop. There is a Widowmine, yes, but we're getting into a very early Cyclone. So Clem looking to be a little bit more assertive and a little bit more aggressive here in the early game. We'll see what he can get done. Here we go. As the drop is moving out, has been spotted by the Phoenix, already taking some hits. Robo's on the way for eventually Colossus production. The medevac does barely avoid the Phoenix, by the way. Does manage to get to the safety of this Cyclone. We're pulling our forces together. We're headed towards the natural base. MaxPax has missed this, but he's aware that this is a drop, so he's pulling back home regardless. Shield battery is ready. Overcharge as well. And Clem, he doesn't end up catching a Phoenix. I'm sure he wanted to. He wanted to catch a Phoenix if possible. He's checking, he's looking. Behind this very fast third CC. Oh my god. The fastest we've seen this entire best of 5. Very fast third here from Clem, getting into a faster third. He's marauding around, but it looks like he's not committing. He doesn't want to push into a base. Again, he's just hunting down Phoenixes. Speaking of Phoenixes, they do move out, but they don't quite get caught by Clem. As he does come back home. And MaxPax gets ready for his third base. There's a safety immortal, there's the Robo, and there is the robotics bay. So once again, Phoenix Colossus. 3 games in a row. I mean, it's a good composition. It's good. It's a solid stuff. MaxPax not really shaking things up too much. Working towards his third. MaxPax does have map control, and once again, even though Clem was hunting and looking for some Phoenixes, and even though he didn't find any, he just pulls back, and again, he's going for his own economic opener, so Clem, he doesn't have to commit. MaxPax, he actually made a second safety immortal, something you do not see too often. So MaxPax, he's a little bit afraid. I feel like this gives us a little bit of insight as to his mindset at the moment. But this is very safe, and this does delay Colossus production. As I do see MaxPax pushing out. He does get eyes on the third CC, so he is aware that Clem wants to expand. I imagine that may also be why he made the second immortal, because he wants to delay the expansion for as long as possible. He wants to apply pressure. Oh, as the Phoenixes, they do bypass the army to get into the mineral line. 4, 5, 6 SCVs. 7 SCVs and a mule. Now, can we punish this? We get 1 Phoenix. Only 1. Oof. A rough trade there for Clem. An amazing moment here for MaxPax. As he dives in once again, he gets a Viking. Gets 2 Vikings for 2 Phoenixes. You can see MaxPax is in position to deny the third. But after losing too many Phoenixes, yeah, I respect this. We back off. Back off. We don't want to throw anything away. And Clem will get his third base up and running. Oh, these Phoenixes, they're doing so much here. 2 more workers go down. Clem just having a hard time keeping up. MaxPax is upon seeing the third, takes the fourth. Gateway explosion, charges on the way. And this game, MaxPax has been able to achieve a lot more in the early game. He's been able to pick away at the economy, able to pick away at the army. This is something that MaxPax couldn't do on Solaris. He was really struggling to pull that off. Oh, the mine! Very good. So mine is ready. MaxPax will run back home. But again, back at home, we're just building up our forces. We have 2 Colossi, soon to be 3. Once we get 3 up and running, we can get into disruptor production. Oh, wow, the self-bond. Oh. You're an animal, Nidstack. You're an animal. As you see, Clem just going to be threatening a dive. He scans, he sees the 4th base is done. He also sees all 3 Colossi and both the Immortals as well. So Clem, he's aware of the army, and I imagine he won't be pushing without EMPs. We have Ghosts in production. Similarly to Solaris, I imagine that Clem is just going to be turtling. And there we go. We have a 4th CC on the way. I say turtling, like he's going to be active with drops, but he's not going to be committing to one big push. MaxPax though is. He still wants to be active, he wants to be aggressive, he's moving out with his army. We have a Zealot runway on the right hand side, which is spotted by these Vikings. The Colossi are in the dead center of the map as well. We have a Zealot runway on both sides of the map. War Prism coming in. The main army threatening a dive through the center as well. So we'll see if Clem can keep up, because we have a tri-pronged attack essentially. As MaxPax throws down 2 more robos, so this is going to be for triple disruptor production, just like the previous game. 3 disruptors at a time. Now we'll see if Clem has done his stretches. We'll see if he's ready to split again, just like game 2, which was wild, by the way. He avoided most, if not every single Nova. Did not look easy. Here goes Zealot runway is coming in. Gonna be dragging the army towards the left. So let's get cleaned up, and there we go. That is a Q for the right hand side. But likewise, Clem, he did leave an army in position. He saw these Zealots earlier, and he will shut them down. Good cleanup, but here comes the main army of MaxPax. Clem was a little bit far back, but he does hold. Does manage to hold on. The Vikings, they turn back around. They have to deal with this drop. The War Prism will fall. And yeah, really impressive. Clem, he kept up with everything the MaxPax had. Up! Nova connects with the Widow Mine. Not much else. Zealot runway comes in on the right hand side, but we have a bunker in position with repairs. The bunker will hold, and Clem, he's chasing down the Colossus. The Vikings, they get 1. They take down 1 Colossus, and they're going to get a 2nd as well. 2 Colossus go down. Disruptor goes down as well. Ay, ay, ay. MaxPax is bleeding out too much. Clem is max. MaxPax is down in supply. But he is still making 3 Disruptors at a time. Things are looking a little bit dicey, but here come those reinforcements. Here come those balls. Decent EMP on the Stalkers. Oh my god. Clem, playing with fire. Avoids the Nova. Avoids at least some of them. Does take 1 to the face, at least a little bit. Does graze him, but we're pushing on through. Is also coming from behind. We're setting up a surround. And the Nova does take down some of the ghosts. It looks like Clem should have a little bit too much, but we have reinforcements coming in. The Zealots. They do push the army back. Some friendly fire takes down some Zealots as well. But Clem does lose his footing. Again, he lost too many of his ghosts. That Colossus barely does survive, and MaxPax holds. He does hold. Any lesser player, I think, would have died then and there. And now, Clem has to back off, take a moment to breathe, and consolidate his army. Likewise, so does MaxPax. Now, what's important is that neither player lost workers. Neither player really lost any workers, so they both have a solid economy. They can both remax and rebuild. +3 is on the way. The disruptor count looking quite high. We are up to 7 disruptors. Again, both players have remaxed. Zealot runway coming in. DT's even on the right-hand side. We have Dark Templar threatening. MaxPax taking another base. And Clem is committing here. He's going for the bottom right. Likewise, so can MaxPax. This will zone Clem back. And MaxPax, he can gain army to that base, gain access to that base. Oof. Good connections, good Novas. They take down so many of those Marines, and MaxPax, he's forcing his way into this planetary. But across the map, Clem, he's pushing. He's not slowing down. Yeah, and he forces a recall. Bottom right hand nexus was denied. But because of that recall, MaxPax, he can't keep pushing. And you can see MaxPax just plummet in supply. Oh my god, he lost a little bit too much. It's taking him too long to rebuild. Then once again, split pushing. Still a lot of disruptors. Now, what's scary here is that we are transitioning into Liberators, and we don't have an answer for that. Despite the amazing economy that MaxPax has, because he's been trading, he doesn't have a bank, which means he hasn't been able to get into Skytoss. No Skytoss from MaxPax. And once the Liberators arrive, Clem can be much more assertive. God, that's a lot of DTs. Oh my god. It's a lot of Dark Templar path. Did you get revealed? Zealots are going down. Big EMP once again on the DTs. The probes! Probes, they run past the army. Good target firing on that Immortal at the same time. On the left-hand side, MaxPax gaining ground. Pushing towards that planetary. There's 6 disruptors. Still have plenty of Novas available. But we're making 4 Liberators at a time. No! Miss Rally! No! We can't... Okay, we're good. He notices. God, this is quite expensive. A lot of DTs! So many Dark Templar. Now what's worrisome is that the Liberators on the right-hand side, the Immortal is going to go down. Big Nova to the face! MaxPax, he pushes towards the planetary, towards the 4th, out positioning Clem. At the same time, Clem also pushes towards the 4th base of MaxPax. With the DTs, they go for a big counterattack. Good target firing. Clem, he dives on the disruptors and he takes some Novas to the face. A good trade overall, but these DTs are getting out of control at the same time. Liberators also pushing across the map. It looks like MaxPax is losing too much. Things are getting far too chaotic. Yeah, the disruptors are all going to go down. They're exposed. There's nothing to protect them. We have Dark Templar, but the Liberators, they come back home. The Vikings land as well, and this is the final army of MaxPax. No more Robo units, no more disruptors or Colossi. The Dark Templar get cleaned up. MaxPax, he did save his base. These libs not in the best position. There we go. But Clem, he maintains most of his armies, pushing out. And MaxPax, he's stuck with only Stalkers and Zealots. 1 Immortal. That is it. Can push into this. Just rely on EMPs. We only have 1 ghost. Uh-oh. Only 1 ghost here for Clem. But he is maxed out. Zealot Runby runs into the reinforcements. Clem was ready for this. Cleans up the Zealot Runby. GG gets called. MaxPax has run out of steam. And Clem will take a 2-1 lead in the grand finals. GG. Again, really good engagements overall. Really good teching as well, just because Clem was able to take some better fights, was able to take some better trades, and of course think further ahead. MaxPax was stuck with a mid-tier army, or a mid-game army. And yeah, it was just because of how large this map is, just because it's so difficult to defend some of your fringe bases, MaxPax was kind of forced all in, pushed up the ramp into the natural, and did not have enough to break Clem. GG. Also, a big shout to Clem and how he handles disruptors. Like, it's really impressive, really impressive. Clem, maybe it's because we haven't seen too much of Bjorn recently, but Clem, he's looking so on point in TVP. I guess all the constant practice against MaxPax, it helps. It does help. We go. Oh, I see Mannerless in the chat. You're living up to your name, but watch yourself. Rather not have that kind of tone and toxicity in the chat. Shaking my head. I mean, he is mannerless. I guess it makes sense. No manners, Papi. No manners. So we're getting into our next game. MaxPax turning into the Protoss 4 GG. True. True. As we're getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our French Terran player, the best Terran in all of Europe, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Nova. True. Oh, as Clem is going for a bit of a proxy. Let's go. Is going to be setting up some proxy racks. So fun fact, there is a Reaper Cliff here. There is a Reaper Cliff right next to this triangular third base. So you can take advantage of that with your proxy Reaper. Only one SCV though, so this actually isn't too committed. Isn't too committed here. As we have a proxy racks being set up. And going to be going across the map. Truth in advertising in 2023. Oh, it's crazy. Crazy. Not like this. But yeah, Clem, he should be getting a factory back at home. Again, we only have one racks. Reapers will slip in. And the goal here is to get an economic lead in this game. Not to kill MaxPax by any means, but just to get a lead in this series. As the probe is just going to be confirming, of course, that we have the factory on the way. So he's aware that it's not a committed proxy. We have the Zealot moving across the map, and the Reaper is on the way. Making its way into the main. We'll see if MaxPax can avert disaster and avoid too much damage from being done. We have the Adept being chronoed out. Zealot is out on the map. It's not back at him to defend. Probes should fall. How many, though? That's the question. How many probes will go down? Oh my god, as that Reaper takes a lot of hits and will escape the clutches of that Reaper, of that Adept. Second Reaper is on the way. And so far, MaxPax doesn't lose anything. Really solid defense. Did lose mining time, that is true, but hasn't lost a probe. Meanwhile, that first Reaper has been joined by a second. Oh no, oh, no! The Adept commits to the shade and is out of position, but we do have a Stalker just in time. And Clem is going to be forced back. Doesn't lose anything, but is forced out of the natural. And I kind of want to give the edge to MaxPax. Clem, he committed to a proxy, and it didn't do anything. It did lose mining time, that is true, but didn't really kill any workers. And ideally, we want to kill a couple of probes at least, as it is racing back home. And MaxPax is able to enjoy his 2-base setup. And he finally switches things up. Oh my, it is going to be a Twilight Council opener. Not a Stargate. This entire series, every game so far. I think that's why someone kind of referred to MaxPax being like 4GG, I think. But every game so far, Stargate. Stargate into Phoenixes, into Colossus. Phoenix Colossus, every single game. But we see what MaxPax is known for. Blink Stalkers, Bobby. Let's go. How many gateways? We have 1 in the main, 2 at the natural. Are we going to get into 4-gate blink? I hope so. MaxPax has the best 4-gate blink in the world. But this is looking like a 3-gate blink opener instead. There's wondering 3-gate blink leads into a faster third, or it just leads into a third base. You have enough for map control, but it's not too aggressive. As Clem is setting up for a mine drop. We have Reapers on the right-hand side. We have a mine drop in towards the natural. And we'll see if MaxPax can keep up. The Reapers do distract. Up! MaxPax, he does notice the mines. He pulls back just in time. Looks like we will get a mine shot in the main base. So no, we pull the boys. No! Ooh, big connection. 8 probes go down. Things were looking good, but MaxPax got a little bit too greedy. He decided to attack the Widow Mine, and it did not work well for him. One Widow Mine even escapes as well. And MaxPax is in a rough position. Again, it is still 3-gate blink, so he should be working on a third. He's making a War Prism to get across the map, but he can't be too aggressive with this. Which means Clem should be safe. We have tanks being set up, bunkers as well. MaxPax is moving out, but he's going to have a hard time dealing damage. And he needs to. That's the thing. He needs to get damage done. He needs to somehow punish Clem. Clem pre-pulling SCVs. Taking this very seriously. I think this is a bit of an overreaction, to be honest. I don't think we need to do this, but there we go. The Stalkers, they just avoid the bunker, go straight for the natural. They get 3 workers. Not bad. MaxPax is expanding, taking his third. MaxPax even commits to the shade into the main, but he will be losing that adept. Let's at least scout the main base. Good target firing, almost takes down the Raven. MaxPax, he is doing counter damage. Is still behind, but he's getting damage done. Lost mining time, a couple of SCVs, a depot. It's something. I'm just going to rotate into the main base as well. Oh my god. As he gets a couple of workers, but takes a lot of hits on that prism. Behind this, the Widow Mine job comes back in. The retargeting. Oh my god, the unburrow, the reburrow as well, as we just forced so much lost mine time. Finally, the shot goes off. But what mattered there was that these probes were not mining for so long. MaxPax, he dives into the main. But the Marines are in position. No. Stalkers are going down left and right. That was that was a rough trade for MaxPax. He loses 5 Stalkers and almost the War Prism as well. Go to Clem. He was waiting for it. He baited it in. And this 3-gate blink was supposed to punish and contain Clem, but MaxPax, like, Clem is just getting further ahead. Like, it's becoming too much. And autos harass as well, killing workers at the natural. Gonna be threatening a dive into the main. MaxPax has just been bleeding out too much. He still has high ground vision with that observer. He can try to blink back in, but Clem is waiting for him. And I'm just waiting for the move out. I'm waiting for when Clem decides to push. Third TC is on the way. He scans the third base of MaxPax, sees the saturation. He's aware of it. Now, he does have to be careful with the move out because MaxPax is ready for a run by. He has Zealots ready to dive in. Charge is done. And Clem is set up here, back at home. He's got a bunker, has a tank, reinforcements. And MaxPax, he's committing. I mean, if Clem moves out of position, this run by could do a lot. Could achieve a lot. As the 4th base has been spotted, and Clem is going in for a drop. Going to be sneaking towards the 3rd base, and does MaxPax see? He does. Oh no! No reaction! 6 probes. Ay, ay, ay. As the Widow Mine can actually reach the mineral line. Raven get ready to dive in once again. Zealots have been spotted. 6 more workers. As Clem, he's looking for that War Prism. He knows that Zelarumba, it's somewhere. Just doesn't quite know where. There we go, the Prism is moving in. Do we have anything at him to defend? We still have that one bunker. Oh, Zelarumba as well. But Clem, he's so far ahead. He's up 40 supply. Viking will chase down the War Prism. And can Clem be stopped? There's a smash damage. We have one Colossus on the way. It's in production. Widow Mines do go off on that Prism. At the same time, there's a Zelarumba, but we have plenty at home to defend. The Zealots, they do nothing. The Robo's depowered. The Colossus will not arrive. And Clem is looking to take it all here. He's looking to snowball out of control and become this week's KungFu Cup champion. MaxPax, again, he just had a rough start to this game. The Mind Drop got too much done, followed by the Ravens, and 3-gate Blink, it bled out more than it really achieved. MaxPax, he just couldn't deal any counter damage. He was caught off guard time and time again. And GG is going to get called. Clem takes the series 3-1, takes down MaxPax, and he is this week's KungFu Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Clem, as of course he makes it through. That is 2 series in a row. The last 2 best of 5s that Clem has played against MaxPax, Clem has beaten him consistently. 2 tournaments in a row, 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. GG, well played. Congratulations to Clem. My condolences to MaxPax as he does bow out. As he does bow out from the event. And yeah, I mean, a good performance, you know, to make it all the way to the finals. MaxPax did very well for himself going this far. As we quickly do have a look at the bracket as a bit of a reminder here. Oh, I should get rid of the content box. But yeah, Clem, he did well for, sorry, MaxPax did very well for himself. You know, he was able to take down players like not just Showtime, he took down Björn, took down Shin and Mana as well. So MaxPax, he fought well here, did fight well. GG, well played, congratulations. And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves as well. Hope you all had a great time. As yeah, this is always a great tournament to watch and to cast. The KungFu Cup, it brings together players from all over the world, you know, the Koreans, the Europeans, and here we even got to see a lot of Korean on European action. Did end up into an EU versus EU finals with Clem and MaxPax, but it's hard to stop that. It's hard to stop, and yeah, it was a good tournament overall. Very well done. Currently, we do have another event going on. ESL Masters has started. There is Spirit versus Rainer in the first round. Oh my god. As the first best of 3. I wanted to co-stream. I wanted to co-stream this tournament, but it already started, and the rules are that we have to be there from the beginning, and I think it's a little bit too late for us to start co-streaming. So that means I'm gonna go get some food. And I will be co-streaming ESL Masters Americas. So after Europe, after the European regionals, the Americas regionals are going to start. So I'll be diving on top of that instead. Unless I get told otherwise. So yeah, with that we are done. Again, if you enjoyed the broadcast, we cover this on a weekly basis. Every single week we're live with the WTL KungFu Cup, so we got you covered. And if you want to follow us, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Discord as well, so you can follow us on all the social media platforms. Gonna commentate Americas. I'll do that for the Americas, papi. The Americas. Choose a prediction outcome. Clem. There we go. So you can follow us there if you wish on all the social medias. You can also follow myself. I do stream over on my own personal channel, light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I stream whenever I can. I was streaming earlier today, but I'm usually live here on the Cranky Ducklings, and we'll be live again in a couple of hours. ESL Americas isn't scheduled to start for how many hours? I think like another 4 hours, right? Yeah, in 4 hours time, yo, we got Scarlet, we got Kelazur, we got Estrella, Eric as well, of course. So in 4 hours, this channel is going to be live again, co-streaming ESL Americas. We did just miss out on Europa. We missed out on Europe, so won't be covering that. But stick around, we're also going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Going to be raiding another StarCraft streamer. I'm not too sure who, but we'll find someone to raid. Obviously, the main event is going on, and I'll link it in the chat. We'll link it in the chat. But they have plenty of viewers, and we always try to raid a smaller streamer. We always try to raid someone with less viewers, just to spread the love and to give a little more support to people that need it. So yeah, we'll find someone. We will find someone. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for spending time with us here for the KungFu Cup, and we'll see you guys in 4 hours for ESL Masters Americas. See you then. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao. Ciao.